A gate opens. A group of sheep and goats hesitate, then shuffle through. The sheep press into each other, move as a group.
This is an auction ring at the Yolo County Fairgrounds, but the animals aren't for sale.
Instead, rancher Nathan Medler is running them through a new piece of equipment. It's called a bulk handler. At some point, every animal here has to be held still for shots, exams, for care.
Instead of securing one animal at a time, it handles them in small groups. Nathan says that matters.
The bigger the goat gets, they can get pretty rambunctious if you handle them incorrectly, and they can jump over fences and stuff.
Goats especially can be unpredictable, says UC Davis livestock veterinarian Fauna Smith.
Goats are like, if the one in there screams because it got an injection, everybody else is like, dude, I'm out of here.
And when they panic,
they jump, they collide.
Broken legs would not be uncommon in animals that are trying to jump over solid-sided fences or fences that have gaps in them.
And the bulk handler changes that, says UC Davis animal scientist Cassandra Tucker.
Sheep, for example, are flocking animals and like to be together and experience some panic or fear when they are isolated. So if we work them one by one, and Nathan was seeing flight responses to that. And so what the bulk handler allows him to do is that since they're being worked in small groups, they get to be pressed up against a friend, and that has a calming effect.
The animals move in together. Their hooves settle between bars at the bottom.
The machine lifts them safely by their bellies, just enough to hold them steady.
We can do 15 to 20 at a time depending on what we're doing, and I think it's less stressful. The animals are only in there for a couple minutes, but for the most part, the percentage of escapees is a lot less.
The work moves faster, calmer. It's a small shift, working with how animals behave instead of against it.
And it's a simple idea. If you can see the world the way an animal does, you can care for it better. It's an idea championed by renowned animal behavior expert Temple Grandin, who we'll hear from in just a bit.
In this episode of Unfold, we go to a field day in Northern California where animal welfare science is put into practice. Coming to you from UC Davis, this is Unfold. I'm Amy Quinton.
And I'm Kat Curlin.
This is a field day called Goats and Gates, organized by the nonprofit Kinder Ground.
It brings together ranchers, veterinarians, researchers, and students, many of them connected through UC Davis.
They're here to see how small changes in livestock handling can make a big difference.
And it's not just about equipment. It's about understanding how these animals experience the world, how they see and react, and what keeps them calm.
In fact, some of the people there were putting on goggles to try to see like cattle.
It's called cattle vision, and we'll come back to that.
For now, back to the ring at Goats and Gates.
So when I'm dropping this, I'm stopping about 6 inches off the
Nathan
ground.
Medler guides another group of goats into the handler.
As the goats move into the lift, a smaller one hesitates. It turns sideways.
It doesn't always go smoothly, but the goal is to have livestock handling as low stress as possible.
For Nathan, this isn't just about speed.
I don't want to have any injuries. First of all, it's not humane to the animals if we have injuries, and I don't want to lose employees to injuries. I just want a safe environment for everybody. If the animals aren't stressed and it's safe, they're going to perform for you.
These animals perform by reproducing and grazing, usually taking out unwanted weeds and vegetation. In California, that work also helps prevent wildfires.
He rotates about 3,000 goats and sheep around the state. Again, UC Davis veterinarian Fauna Smith.
It used to take the whole day. When we first got this handling system, I went out and did some with Nathan, and I think we got through 400 head in 2 hours. And that's like a game changer in terms of like the amount of time.
Nathan was able to purchase the bulk handler with help from Kinder Ground.
Co-founder Jen Walker is a UC Davis alum and a herd health veterinarian. While the bulk handler was an expensive system, Jen says animal welfare doesn't have to be.
You don't have to spend a lot to make things a little better.
For Walker, the bigger shift isn't cost, it's perspective.
We design systems to work with us, that fit us. We've realized if we design the system around the cow or the sheep or the pig, it makes our job easier.
Many of these ideas trace back to animal behavior expert Temple Grandin with Colorado State University. She says being a visual thinker helped her understand animals.
That shift in perspective has changed not just how animals are treated, but how they perform.
It's win-win because a calm cow gives you more milk. A cow you scream at and hit gives you less milk. In beef cattle that get all agitated during handling gain less weight.
It's one thing to talk about seeing the world through an animal's eyes.
But at this event, people got to try it.
And so did I.
Today, I'm going to talk to you about a technology that allows you to see the world like a cow would. And we lovingly refer to this as the cattle vision goggles.
Ashlyn Kirk is with the Humane Handling Institute at the University of Wisconsin River Falls, and she's a UC Davis alum. The goggles she's about to put on me look like virtual reality goggles, but they're really augmented reality. They allow you to see 330 degrees around.
That is what we think a cow, the range of vision that a cow sees, yes. Goats and sheep are very similar.
The goggles are attached to a camera at the top of a hard hat I'm wearing. Ashlyn says ruminants also don't see color like humans.
They can't really see reds very well, and what you can expect to see is shades of yellows, browns, and blues.
Then she turns the camera on.
This is bizarre. It's like looking through a snow globe.
It's not exactly like looking through a snow globe, but it's disorienting.
It's blurry on my left, blurry on my right, pretty focused. Now that you're in front of me, I can see you completely.
What really changes is how much movement you can see on the sides and how off your depth perception is.
But if I were a cow, I'd be looking down like this, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
No wonder I don't move very fast. I sort of saunter.
Future veterinarians also got to try on the goggles. Tundi Nixon, a third-year UC Davis vet student, walked around in the goggles a lot more than I did.
Is the little like half circle thing like right here in my vision? Is that like actually, do they have that as well?
Yep, that's the blind spot.
That is the blind spot.
Yeah.
Okay, that sucks.
That sucks.
Tundi says the cattle vision goggles made her understand, better than a book or research papers, why cattle get spooked so easily and how they have a flight zone when you get in their personal space. They'll take off.
I thought it was like really, really cool because we always talk about how they perceive things differently, and going through it yourself makes you kind of really appreciate and like, I guess, value a lot of the welfare stuff that we do too, way more.
Amy, after trying these goggles, did it change how you think about all of this?
Absolutely. I mean, you start to understand how much animals are reacting to what they see. Movement, shadows, reflections on puddles, little small gaps and gates, what's happening off to the side. And once you see that, it really makes sense why handling them differently works.
Better for them and the rancher.
Yeah. And that's the work for UC Davis researchers like Cassandra Tucker.
We're all interested in really trying to understand how the animals see their world and how do the management and housing decisions that we make for them, how do they influence those animals? And can we make recommendations or bring evidence that might change our practices to the table?
You can find some photos of the bulk handler
and goats and sheep
and get a glimpse of those cattle vision goggles
at our website, ucdavis.edu/unfold. I'm Amy Quinton.
And I'm Kat Curlin. Thanks for listening.
Unfold is a production of UC Davis. Original music for Unfold comes from Damien Verrett and Curtis Jerome Haynes. Additional music comes from Blue Dot Sessions.